Now, I'm going to want you guys to pay attention to this absolute tomfoolery. There's a good reason for it. So, just a second ago, I was telling you that I'm not physical. I'm not going to. I'm lazy and I'm old, and I'd rather make a cool contraption. This is what I come up with. Guys, I've carried a cement mixer around with me for, I don't know, the last 7 or 8 years, and you keep moving it, and I don't use it. If I need to do anything involving a cement mixer or more than that, I got a wheelbarrow or I'll hire it done. But so what I've done, I took the cement mixer, drilled some holes in it, got straps on the crossways, you know what I mean? So we're crossing over the top and strapping it down to the cement mixer. I've got a clamp on that end, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that stuff in there, and then you got to slosh it for 30 minutes. So this is going to get a little intense. I won't bore you with that. You're here for just a brief few minutes, and I want to keep this real simple. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up the stuff. I'm going to put it in my cement mixture contraption that apparently has won over the internet. I'm just going to put that out there. It's a pretty dope idea, and it works very well. I cleaned this, and it was amazing. So I'll put a clip of that in here too. So I'm gonna get started. Guys, this is either gonna be retarded or genius. I think it's both. We're gonna see how it works. I got a little salad, if you will. I'm gonna throw some nuts and bolts in here. Probably don't want a whole bunch of big ones to start knocking dents in there, so I'm gonna kind of pick through here. Got a couple of 3/8 bolts, some nuts to do some 1/4 inches. No, there's a wing nut. Could use that sometime. Oh, I got a bunch of good ones, guys. Let me get some heavier nuts, some more 3/8, some lock washers. Are y'all ready? Oh, this is gonna be so loud. This is horrible, and I love it. Well, let's see what it does. And keep in mind, we can rotate this to turn it on its side, everything. Oh, perfect. That's just as hideous as I thought it would be. Oh, that's so loud. I don't know how long I have to do this, but that's loud. Awesome. It's working. This is so loud. I won't bore you with any details. It's working great. All the neighbors know exactly what I'm doing right now, too. Genius. Just when you guys thought it couldn't possibly get any worse, I'm gonna add to the concoction. I got some BBs. I want to make sure we get this thing clean. So, I don't know how many to use. Perfect. Half of them. Fire in the hole, boys. Move, Dix. Now, guys, on the directions, it's saying use 1 quart water, 1 quart of their solution. I bought the big kit, and I'm sure you can cross-reference whatever. And that didn't even make it in the trash can. and figure out what's in here. And there's probably other ways to do it. However, everybody that did this had very good success. So I'm not against spending the money and not spending 14 hours scouring the internet, and just get it on the way and go by the directions. Perfect. So I'm gonna put this in there. It did say use warm water, not hot water. And I've got a water hose that's sitting here that's been sitting in the sun all day. It's about 90 degrees. And we're gonna go ahead and get this done. So we're mixing this 1-to-1, guys. Putting both the degreasers in here. We're gonna have to do that, and then we put this metal prep solution in there. Once that's done, we gotta get it completely dry. And I have a few tricks, or not a few tricks, I have a few ideas. And as you can tell by my cement mixer / north side thunder drum, because when you're cleaning it, it's loud. But some of my ideas are genius, and you might want to stick around. Anyway, I'm going to get this filled up. We're going to turn this on, and it's got to run for 30 minutes, guys. So this is pretty much it, guys. We're going to let this run for 30 minutes, and then we're going to rinse it out really well. Really well being really well. Put some water in there, do this, just kind of flush it out. Now, there is going to be a hard time. I should explain this to you while that's running. This is going to run for 30 minutes. All right, guys, we need to walk through these videos. So now I've got to rinse this thing out. This isn't going to be an easy task, okay? This neck that is a fill neck, this goes through quite a bit to the inside of the tank. So there's a lip that sticks through about 1/4 of an inch. So we can't just turn it right here and it drains out. Now, you remember we only have 2 quarts of water in there and those 2 quarts of degreaser. So there's going to be a lot of suds and stuff that get in here. I think what I'm going to do is make sure that it's strapped up, that it's in good shape. And I'm going to set the hose in here and just let it fill up and rinse itself out. So this is going to be a time-consuming deal. But nonetheless, it's got to get done, and I want to make sure that it's done right. So I won't keep you. We will get started on it, but I'll bring you right back. All right, guys, so I've had this going for about probably 30 minutes. Toby come by and we were wrapping and everything. So we've got the water just blowing in there and going right out the tank. Now I'm going to flip it over, put the water in on this side, have this as the low point, you know what I mean? And I'm going to keep doing this to rinse that out. So I'm going to get that set up and bring you in for just a few seconds, and we're going to keep moving on this. All right, guys, so we're going to let this thing fill up and do it this way. Hopefully it doesn't build up so much weight that it's going to flip over. I've got some chain and stuff I can set on that back corner, which I should probably do sooner before I find out if it's going to flip. Give me a second. Yeah, probably will. Now that we have our anti-flip device installed, we should be good to go. Guys, I'm going to let this run for another 30 minutes, and then we'll repeat this cycle. All right, guys, we've got to a point now to where we're just going to kind of empty it out. We do need to let this drain. I'm going to squirt some water around in there a little more just to make absolutely certain. But we're going to have a real hard time getting all the water out due to that little, where that neck comes through that tank and it's hanging over. But there's a way I can flip this around manually, and I'll probably be able to get a lot more out. But I'm going to get out as much of this water as I can here in just a second. I'm going to give it one final wash down, and we'll get going on it. I have to say, this is a pretty good idea. All my buddies and stuff, everybody that's seen it is like, you know, that's pretty clever. And I'd like to think so. I seen a deal years ago with this farmer had a tank ratchet strapped to his tractor wheel. And I was like, you know, I need to remember that. Not that I know anybody with a tractor, but an implement of some sort, we could do that. I was sitting in bed one night thinking about it, and I was like, maybe an old washer machine or something, you know, and I was like, shit, I got an old cement mixer, and I put 2 and 2 together, and so far it's working out. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish rinsing this out, guys. I'm gonna get that acid wash ready and read the instructions again and make sure I can tell you guys correctly. And we're gonna continue on. Keep on keeping on. All right, guys, on the instructions it said to spin this around the acid wash. Spin this one around a little bit with that acid wash in it. And then it said set it on certain sides that you want for about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna do that. And all the videos I watched, oh, let me mention this. I am a YouTube certified tank cleaner. Meaning I just watched a few hours and now I think I got this. But everybody was doing the same thing and they said it seems like it's gonna be a pretty important step. So I'm gonna do that. With that, on this mixer, I just got a clamp over here that I spin, and I'm gonna lay it on its side again like it was a minute ago. And then from that point, I can just spin it in any direction that I want. It should just kind of absorb into that area, I guess, is how that works. So let me get this over here a little bit. Say right in there. Oh, hey, I can smell that now. It is, it's acid. It smells like the rotten eggs. So I'm just gonna rinse this back and forth just a little bit. Then we're just gonna let it sit. It says 20 minutes. I'll probably give it about, let's be honest, 8. But I'm gonna keep spinning this around. And no need for you to watch that. I'll catch you guys up here in just a minute. I'm gonna catch you guys up to where I'm at right now. I went ahead and did the acid wash, so we're done with the north side thunder drum. Now I moved this inside the shop, so we're sitting here, and I have my air off my big compressor, and I regulated it down to 20 PSI. Now, it's cycling my compressor about every 8 minutes for about, I don't know, I'm gonna say close to probably 4 minutes. So I'm gonna put it back down to 10 and see if that'll do it, because I don't wanna just keep going back and forth. However, I just put the heat gun on there and I got it on cook a duck mode. I've got it up, vents are open, it's blowing a lot of hot air in there. That thing is hot as the dickens. So we're building up some heat in here. And what we're gonna do, get the heat going through here. Here in a second, I'll click that off, turn the air back on, and we're gonna rotate these back out. Being that I don't wanna run the compressor just continuously like that, you know, let's say every 5 minutes for 3 or 4 minutes, that's hard on it. And that's even at 20 PSI, which is a lot of volume going into that little tank. I mean, it's blowing out pretty heavy. So I'm gonna let it bake for you know, a few more minutes. I'll get my temp gun. I'd like to know how hot that is, because it's hot. But anyhow, we're generating some heat in there, so it's going to create some steam, then I'll blow it out. You know what I mean? And I don't know another way to do this, but it does say in the instructions, use forced air. Get a blow dryer on it and let it sit. It has to be absolutely, absolutely dry, okay? So this is one thing that we're just going to have to do this for the next 2 hours or whatever it is. I don't know. But I need to get that sealer in there tonight, put it back on the thunder drum, and turn it on for 3 or 4 minutes, let it set for a minute or 2, or 10, flip it around 3 or 4 minutes, and continue on. So, that's what I'm doing, that's the plan. This is the contraption that I'm using to make it happen. And while we have that off, let me get my thermometer. I wanna see if this is getting to, let's say, if it was 120 degrees, I'd be pretty surprised. That neck is hot, though. Like, literally, I imagine you could cook something on it. So, let's look here. Damn! Okay, I was way off. Yeah, it's getting hot in there. So, that's awesome. We want that. We're going to get that hot, blow it out. Get it hot, blow it out. Get it hot, blow it out. So, that's my plan, Stan. Now, I will say that when the guys suggest using a blow dryer or a heat gun, there's a lot of truth to that. I just turned it off. It's been sitting here about 10 minutes. Let me flip you around. Let's see what this temperature is on this neck. There we go. So on the neck, okay? Now, I put this piece here about 2 minutes ago. I'm gonna flip this up and see how hot that air is that's coming out. Can't see it. 94, 93, 91, right in there. But when this, oh no, this seems hotter than that. Yeah, because that metal right there, oh, sorry. Like, it heats up well and does well. So now I'm gonna turn the heat gun off and put the air in there and let it run for a few minutes. I may flip it on its side at some point and do it that way. But that heat gun, I think, is gonna be our key. That's gonna seems like an awesome idea. I'm gonna flip this around and get a few more things set up, get the air in there, and we're gonna keep on. We might be putting that stuff in there here in I don't know, a couple hours. Word. So let's do an update right quick, and let me let you guys know where we're at. So we're on hour number 3 of drying. Okay, so I have that heat gun coming in. Of course, Dixie's gonna do this. I have that heat gun coming in. Now run it for about 10-15 minutes. Could be 20, could be 30. I'm just out here doing chores and, you know, that sort of thing. Then I turn that off and I put the air hose in. I've already flipped it, you know, one side level, this side on its sides, and I had it upside down just a minute ago. When I had it upside down, I went ahead and stuck the air hose in it first to create more turbulence via CFM. And there is still some moisture in there, so we're on 3 hours, and there is still moisture in it. Now, it says in the instructions, Dixie, it says in the instructions, and they make it very clear, there cannot be any moisture in this, to double check. Like, you think you're good, do it again. You have to be absolutely certain that this is absolutely dry. And I can feel moisture. Like, I'll take the air hose and put it in there, and when I pull it out, I feel the chuck and the air chuck and the rubber and whatnot, and there's still some moisture in there. I can feel it. So I'm gonna click this back on. What's happening is the air will run for about 7 or 8 minutes, and the compressor will kick on, and it'll run for about 1.5 minutes, and then it shuts off, and that's at 10 psi. So now that I know that there's a little bit of moisture in there, the heat's doing what it needs to do, I'm gonna turn it up to like 20 and see what we do, and then rotate them out so that my pump's not kicking on every few minutes and off. I'll do that, let it fill up, turn it off, let it cool, turn this on, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna increase the CFM on it, and I'm gonna open the blades up on this where it's getting more oxygen coming in and a little less heat, or I guess it wouldn't be as hot, but it's creating more of a draft. So seems to be working well so far, guys. I'm gonna continue on, and we should be pouring the epoxy in next time you see me. So let's do this. All right, guys, I went and ate dinner right quick. When I did that, I took the heat off and took the compressed air out. And I set this thing on its end where it's kind of tilted to one corner. So any heat, as this condensation, as that heat dissipates, the condensation should fall. And I had probably a pint of water in this bottom corner. I've got my little sucker out here. Hooked it on the compressor, turned it on. I mean, it instantly started pulling solid water for, you know, quite a few seconds. And I can see it in the bottom of the jug. You know, it's like a, you know. So there was a lot more water in there than I thought. So I'm going to go ahead and continue, put the heat on here. I got a few more chores to do in the backyard. I'm going to leave this on here. I want to stay out here so I can monitor it. But I've still got it going to that end. I'm going to put heat on it, pull it off, suck out some more water. And we should be pretty good. At that point, I'll flip it over, and we're going to keep doing this. We've got to make absolutely certain there's no moisture in here. So the project still continues, so I have about 3.5 hours in it. I went and ate dinner, and I bet there's still another hour. So it is what it is. I'm going to keep going, guys. close to 5 hours, guys. I've got the vacuum hooked up to it now. Just a second ago, I told you I sucked all that water out. I've tried it a couple more times. I can't get anything, but the vacuum has cool air that pulls through. So I got it on the high side where it's gonna pull cool air up and out of there or through it. Try to get everything to cool down, see if the condensation's gonna happen again. But we may be on the downhill part of it now, guys. So 5 hours, I'll keep you updated. I'm getting tired of hanging out here, which is weird. I don't know. Guys, I think we are at that point, finally. So it says to mix this until it is one solid color. And I imagine it's some oil-based product that's got to be mixed for several minutes. I have been walking around all day today when I have a minute and just flipping it over and, you know, lightly shaking it just to kind of get it to start breaking up. But I can feel the clumps on the bottom of the pencil. So I'm going to continue doing this for a second. And so right now we're about 6 hours and 15 minutes in on this tank. And we got about 4 hours of that is the drying, okay? So it's been a pretty time-consuming deal of labor. It's not bad. You know, I got that little machine out there that really simplified it and make it happen. All right, it's starting to look right now, guys. It don't look like metallic paint. Well, it does look like metallic paint. Actually, it looks just like automotive paint. But I'm gonna pour this in, and then I've got to roll it around in there pretty good. And then it does say to set on each side for 30 minutes. So I'm gonna pour it in there, give it a real good slosh around, and then I'll set it on this heavy side where we know that that den's at. Actually, it's on this corner right here. We'll set it on that side. Then we'll set it to the back, you know what I mean? And just slowly start getting this done. I want to get this done today because I have a very, very busy work week in front of me. And this can sit all week and just cure. So that really helps. We got to have that cure time. So I made me a little funnel just because if you've ever seen me pour anything, I'm not real good at it. I have one eye. Well, I have two, but I'm blind in one. So we're just gonna pour this in there. They give you pretty specific instructions, you know, like if you're doing it with a motorcycle tank or something like that, you know, the petcock, that sort of thing. So there are some pretty specific deals that you want to do, because if this stuff hardens in that petcock, you're not getting it out. And it clearly states that. Once this is in there, it's in there. You're not, there's no lollygagging about it. That's one reason I wanted to use a funnel, is because I have those holes on top of here where those little bolts go in to hold in the sending unit. And I don't want to have any trouble with those. Now you see how that's recessed in there, so whenever I go to flip this up on its top, it'll be in all the low spots and high spots, but it typically won't just get right up in this area. Or I say that, I don't know, but I'm gonna do it in such a way that that doesn't become a problem for us, okay? Keep these on until I'm done sloshing around. It don't seem like that's gonna be a lot for a tank, you know? Now, I don't really know. You know, I've never done this before. So, you know, it's all kind of new to me too. But, you know, if they gave you a gallon of it, someone poured a gallon in there and then they'd be mad because it didn't cure right. I imagine they give you enough to do what you need to do. That's one reason I bought the kit, because it was bigger. I think I got a quart with it, where the other ones seemed to be like, the motorcycle ones seemed to be like a pint maybe. Oh, you hear there's a BB in there still. It's becoming one. y'all see what we're doing here? We're just gonna kind of rotate this around. And I'll continue doing this. I'll probably just put you guys on a time lapse. We want to just kind of soak it down and absorb as much of the heavy stuff as we can. And I was wrong, it did come through the threads. So I'll use air and blow them threads out before we get going too far off with it. And I didn't want that stuff dripping out the side of it either. Get all over me and my good shirt. No, playa. Let's get it off there. This will soak it up. All my neighbors are out riding their stuff out here. Love that, man. Love it when kids get out and do shit other than being inside playing video games and crying on the internet. So I'm just trying to make sure that we've got a real good coat in there, and it looks good. I can see it in there. There we go. Let's get it all back down here at this corner. That's where the dents were. That's where my biggest concern is. We're gonna let that sit there for a few minutes and kind of do its thing. Then we'll start moving it around and getting it, moving it slower and getting it more into a position. Oh, still flipping this thing, guys. It's dark and I'm tired, and I think I've got maybe 30 minutes left, and then we let it sit. So about every 30 minutes, I'm just coming and flipping it, putting it in another position and letting it be. So I think I'm gonna set it up on this little last hill for the last hoorah. And when we come in a few days, of course I'll come in and check on it. I'll be getting tools and stuff in and out of here, but I think that's probably gonna be about it. I do want to make sure that this corner is good, but my thinking is if there's any, because you can hold it now and see in the hole and you can see it slowly shimmering, you know what I mean, like it's still moving. I don't want to put it on that corner and get it too thick there and it dries up hard on the top, but the bottom hasn't done yet, or hasn't done what it's supposed to yet. So I think that's probably pretty good. I'm gonna leave it here for probably another hour or two, and then just before I go to bed, I'll come out here and make sure that everything is good. The wires are all on the fence, everything is good, and I'll probably set it back that direction. But that's part of the gas tank process, and next time you see me, well, it'll probably be sooner than later, but this part is done. We just got to get it on there and make sure it's not going to leak fuel, or put some fuel in it here and make sure it doesn't leak, and that sort of thing. But I don't suspect it would. So that's that. I'm out. I will mention this, man. I hope you guys seen that and that you thought that was kind of clever. It did work out very well. So I wound up letting it sit for a few weeks, and then I put it in the back of the wagon. A few months back, I went ahead and pulled it out and put some gas in it and left it sitting in here, and it never leaked out until all the gas evaporated. So I thought that, well, I put some gas in it. I put about a gallon in there and then left it sitting to the side of my shop for a while. Anyhow, it did not leak. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was something that was simple to do. It was easy to make, and it's just louder than all get out. I could not find the video of when I had the nuts and bolts in there, but guys, it is extremely loud. All my neighbors started coming out, and I was just out there giggling. Yeah, so anyhow, be prepared for that. But it did work out well. Everything went as accordingly. So right now it's sitting in the back of the back of the Buick, and all is good. Hey guys, appreciate your time. I'll catch you on the next one. Thank y'all. GoPro, stop recording.